Hello and welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Nick. In this video we're going to be comparing the Asics Novablast 4 and the Asics Gel-Nimbus 26. So the Gel-Nimbus 26 and the Novablast 4 are two cushioned training shoes within the Asics range. The Gel-Nimbus 26 is almost the flagship cushion shoe, the most expensive one in the Asics range, whereas the Novablast comes in a little bit cheaper. It's billed a bit more as an all-rounder, right, as opposed to the very comfort-focused Gel-Nimbus. Like I say, the Nimbus is the more expensive shoe, especially in the UK, where it's £180. It's $160 in the US, whereas the Novablast is £135 or $140. Not exactly sure how those prices are converting between the UK and the US, but the upshot is the Novablast is the cheaper shoe in both spots. The Novablast is also the lighter shoe. It's 270 grams or 9.5 ounces in my UK 9, whereas the Gel-Nimbus 26 is 318 grams or 11.2 ounces. They both have an 8mm drop and they're very similar stack heights. The Nimbus is 42mm at the heel and 34 at the forefoot, and the Novablast is just half a millimetre lower, 41.5mm at the heel and then 33.5 at the forefoot. So as well as being similar sizes, the midsoles are made from the same material. They are FF Blast Plus Eco cushioning from Asics, although the Gel-Nimbus also has a little bit of pure gel under the heel as well. Both shoes have sidewalls of foam and a reasonably wide design to try and create stability despite being such high stack shoes. The Gel-Nimbus is particularly wide, even wider than the Novablast on that front. I've got a woven upper with a mesh tongue on the Novablast 4, fair amount of heel padding there. And then you've got AHA low rubber on the outsole, pretty good coverage there. It's quite a thick layer and it feels a little bit softer to my touch and feel on the run than the rubber used in the Gel-Nimbus 26. That rubber is a hybrid of Asics' Asics Grip and AHA Plus materials. This has been changed with the Novablast 26 compared to the 25 to give it slightly better grip. Actually, the Novablast 4 also is meant to have better grip than its predecessor, but it creates a slightly firmer feel underfoot with that rubber used on the latest version of the shoe. Then you've got a stretchy knit tongue on the Nimbus 26, which creates a slightly more booty style fit than you get with the Novablast 4. And then once again, loads of cushioning around the back of the shoe, as you'd expect with a cushion shoe like this.
Now when it comes to fit, I ran true to size in both of these shoes. That's my regular running shoe, UK 8.5 or US 9.5, and I'd recommend going true to size. For the Novablast 4, I found the fit secure but roomy. There's plenty of wiggle room in the toe box. There's good hold across the midfoot and a largely secure heel as well. Unless you like your shoes very snug, I definitely recommend going true to size in this one. With the Nimbus 26, I'd also recommend going true to size. The padded collars hold the heels well. The tongues boost the overall plushness and the uppers wrap quite snugly, but there's room in the toe box and enough room there to flex and enough room to feel spacious. I've got decent lace lockdown across the midfoot too.
So I've got the same size in both of these shoes, which is a UK 9, a US 10, and both of them fit me very well. That's my normal running shoe size, and I don't really have any concerns about the fit of these two shoes. Loads of padding at the heel, which holds your foot in place quite well. Good hold around the midfoot, and enough room in the toe box for sure. So I would stick with your normal running shoe size.
Now for my run tests, I've run around 45 miles in the Nimbus 26, around 40 in the Novablast 4, covering the usual mix of paces, time on feet and terrain, including roads and some light off-roads. Now if, like me, you're a fan of firmer ride, more responsive running shoes, then the Novablast 4 is a clear improvement on the past gen shoes. The midsole tweaks are a net positive, bringing some additional immediacy and response into each of your steps. As a result, I think this shoe now has much more versatility without sacrificing too much of the soft cushion protection that many enjoyed from the older Novablasts. You will have to get on with oversized maximal shoes that offer a softer edge to enjoy these shoes, though if you do, you'll probably enjoy them a lot. I still find them a bit clomping, and I generally like shoes that are more compact and precise, but overall this is a good daily trainer. Now the Asics Gel-Nimbus 26 is a competent daily trainer as well. It caters for the easier end of your weekly mileage. It's definitely not a shoe, I think, to run fast in. It lacks some of the versatility of other daily trainers, including the Novablast 4, that cope better across a range of paces. But if you're after guaranteed easy cruising comfort in a highly cushioned, neutral daily trainer, you're in the right place with this shoe. It's soft, it's got cushion comfort on easy paced or recovery runs. That's exactly what the Nimbus does best. Though you'll have to, like the Novablast 4, enjoy kind of heavier and bulkier shoes, because this is a bit of a beast. It's heavier than the Novablast, in fact. I also did a side-by-side mile in both of these shoes to tease out some of the differences, and here is what I found. So then I've just done a side-by-side mile. I've got the Novablast 4 on the left foot, I've got the Asics Gel-Nimbus on the right foot. First thing to say that you notice when you put them on together is how tight and hugging and secure the Nimbus 26 feel, particularly around the heels. Those heel collars, although there's approximately the same amount of padding by the looks of it, in both shoes. The Nimbus 26 just hold your heel much more securely, particularly at the top of the heel, just under the ankle bone, and then it opens into a bit more space below that. Also going into the kind of the tongue and across the top of the midfoot, I think that padded knitted tongue actually just holds down better, and it creates this whole kind of wrap cocoon feel across the top of the foot as it sort of goes up into your leg. That bit, you know, that's the bit I'm talking about. You don't get quite so snug fit in the Novablast. Perfectly good hold, but it's a bit looser, a bit more roomy, and that's a big difference here. And I guess that's down to the overall kind of plush comfort that Nimbus is trying to deliver. Underfoot, when it comes to the ride, although these have got a very similar stack height, almost identical, same drop, one thing I've really noticed is the Novablast, it runs a little flatter. The Nimbus, it feels like there's a bit more of that kind of midsole volume under the ball of the foot, and that creates a more, it's not necessarily a fully sort of rocketed feel, but you can feel the foam engaging a little bit faster when you first put your foot down, whereas you land a bit flatter on the Novablast. In terms of how much energy there is and how much cushioning, I think there's not a lot to choose here. Nimbus 26, probably a bit softer, a bit sinkier, but I think if you're looking for a comfort shoe, both of these can do exactly the same job. There's no doubt the Novablast can cover easy recovery miles just as well as the Nimbus. The one difference, I think, is the heaviness of the Nimbus 26 cuts the top pace of it, so you can feel the lightness of the Novablast 4 on your foot, and that is going to be key here when it comes to kind of doing those sort of faster miles, moving up through the gears. But the Nimbus is sort of held back. It's like a one gear shoe. I think that the Novablast has multi gears. It's not going to go all out probably. You're probably going to go up to sort of maybe marathon pace tops, but it can do that, and it's going to do it better and feel more lively. In terms of the overall stability, not a lot to choose here. I do feel like the Novablast 4 has a slightly wider platform than the Nimbus, and therefore creates a bit more of a kind of flat, stable landing overall through heel and midfoot. The platform's a bit wider than the Nimbus. Over the runs that I've done where I've been wearing two shoes the same, I would definitely say the Novablast are the more responsive and livelier and punchier shoe than the Nimbus 26 by a long way. There's a lot of slappiness goes on with the Nimbus when you've got both shoes on that you don't get with the Novablast. But as I stand here right now, having done that mile, there is a softness to the Novablast, and like now I can bounce on it and I can feel that Nimbus foam. It doesn't sink quite as deep. There you go. That's why I do the side-by-sides. Rest of it will be back in the office.
So I've racked up a lot of miles in both of these shoes, using them for a mix of runs. I've actually done sessions in both shoes, including a very hard session in the Gel-Nimbus 26, which was not ideal. It's not the ideal shoe for a hard session, and also a lot of relaxed, easy running in both as well. I do think that they are both good shoes, but my preference really has been for the Novablast throughout training in it. Novablast is almost a shoe that, to me, explains why I don't really necessarily go for big max cushion shoes like the Gel-Nimbus 26, because this is still a max cushion shoe to my mind. It's really cushioned, really soft, really comfortable, does a great job when you're mooching along at very easy paces, but then it's a lot lighter than something like the Gel-Nimbus, has a bit more bounce, a bit more response, a slightly more free-flowing geometry that allows you to up the pace in it quite easily. So I found the Novablast to be a really versatile shoe all round during my testing, enjoyed doing a session in it, enjoyed doing long runs with hard efforts throughout, and just felt it could handle all of that really well whilst being nice and lightweight, whereas the Gel-Nimbus to me feels more like a shoe that fits in a box, which is just that easy run box. Now obviously different kinds of runners might find it a bit more versatile, but as someone with running shoe rotation, this is the kind of shoe that I would put squarely in the easy run only box. Like, it's comfortable enough, but it is very big and heavy. Did do one session in it, like I mentioned, because I didn't have any other shoes with me when I was away on a trip, and ran a session where I did a hard 2 miles and some fartlek and then another hard mile. And yeah, it just takes it out of you to run that kind of session in a shoe like this. But probably my biggest concern with that was actually that was the first run where I started to notice a bit of forefoot discomfort in this shoe, because it has a fairly slappy ride, I found. And I did find that actually when I did a long run in it as well, and didn't get that at all with Novablast. You know, exactly same size, same midsole material, but the way the geometry works, I just get a smoother ride from the Novablast, and it means I don't snap through quite so hard, and just feels a bit more comfortable, especially when running at any kind of pace or when running long. Now, to me, that feels very strange that the Novablast, I think, was even more comfortable, and obviously that's something to do with running gait as much as the design of the shoes, but also I think it's partly down to the change in rubber outsole you have on the latest version of the Nimbus. Slightly harder material, you certainly hear a bit more of a slap, and I think that does create a slightly less comfortable ride under the forefoot. Still a very comfortable shoe, and if you're sticking to easy paces, it's certainly really well cushioned and very comfortable to cruise through long runs in, but I didn't find any drop-off in comfort when going for the Novablast 4. Actually, probably had slightly more comfort, and then you've got the extra versatility of the lighter shoe here. So in my run test, although I enjoyed using both shoes, I certainly preferred using the Novablast across a range of runs. This is an easy verdict for me because I think the Novablast 4 is a superior shoe all round and a cheaper shoe, and it's the one I'd recommend people going for, even if you just want a cushion shoe for easy runs, which is mostly what I would use the Novablast 4 for. I think it still does a better job actually than the Gel-Nimbus. I found it more comfortable just because it's a bit lighter, gives a little bit more back, feels a bit more breezy and flowing when you are rolling through long runs. And I did find it a little bit more comfortable under the forefoot during my runs as well. Top of that, you get the added versatility of a lighter shoe that is better for faster runs as well. So I think it's a really good all-round daily trainer, or just a cushion shoe, whichever you want to use it for. Gel-Nimbus, I think, hasn't really got that versatility. It's really just that cushioned cruiser, and well, that's fine. I think it's really expensive, and I think the Novablast does the same job really well. So yeah, I'd certainly be going for the Novablast 4 myself out of these two shoes.
Verdict then, and this one's really easy for me. While I get the appeal of the Nimbus, I can see why lots of runners love it for its oodles of pillowy cushioning that almost removes any of the road from the equation when you're running. I don't quite get on with the most sinky, squishy shoes like this. And I think the latest generation of the Novablast 4 manages to kind of offer enough of the softness for those really easy miles, but also now brings a faster return and a more immediate ride that's livelier and enhances the versatility. It makes it more fun to run in overall, in my book. It's basically got more gears, I think, than the Nimbus 26. And it still lets you run in that sort of slow comfort that the Nimbus offers. It's still big, the Novablast 4, but it's lighter and cheaper. And if I'm picking one shoe here, it's the Novablast 4 all day long for me. Outside of these two shoes, I think I'd opt for the Saucony Ride 17 that can also cover similar runs, but I think it does it better than either of these two. If you're really after that Nimbus softness, but you're on a bit of a budget, check out the Brooks Ghost Max 2. I think it's got Nimbus bothering potential. But yeah, that's how I'd come on it. Novablast 4 wins this one for me.
Okie, that is our comparison of the Gel-Nimbus 26 and the Novablast 4. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Please do like, subscribe, and ring the little bell. And we'll see you next time.